Hey YouTube, this is J and T Customs. I'm Jay.
I'm T.
And how are you doing? Okay YouTube, how we doing? This is episode 10, I believe, of our front bumper rebuild, and we are getting ready to paint the whole car, the bottom half of the car. As you can see, we got the top of the car taped off. We got to finish taping the engine, but we had the top of the car taped off. We're getting ready to paint the rest of the bottom of the car. We have to get rid of some imperfections because we painted this last season, and then we ran it through the summer to make sure that you know any fiberglass that we did was going to crack or not crack. So we did have a couple of spots. This part here cracked, that part over there, same place cracked, which was interesting. And we also finished the bottom. So now the bottom is finished. This here, I just have to, I just had a little spot right here, but this is all fiberglass in now. And you can see back here, this is all fiberglassed in. So this is now complete, okay? There will be a flat piece across the bottom. And we're going to do something kind of funky with that, but right now we're just putting this, we're setting this up so we can paint. Now what we're doing is we're doing a test piece, because are we going to repaint with the black, or are we going to go with a gray? Now here's why. Our base coat is a lighter color, as opposed to, it's a lighter, it's a base coat, I forget what it's called, but it's a silver with a purple tinge to it, okay? And if I paint it on a black primer, all right, it's going to be a darker color. If I paint it on a silver primer, it's going to be a lighter color, or a gray primer, sorry, it will be a lighter color. That's just the way that it is. That's why when you paint a white car, you don't paint it on a black primer coat. Okay, you paint it on a white or a gray primer coat. That's how you paint a white car. Okay, so lighter color cars get the gray primer or a white primer, and then darker color cars, brown, reds, blacks, those sort of things, blues, they get primered with a dark color. Okay, so if you're new to this, and remember that, it's what you want to do. So in our case, okay, T has decided, hasn't decided yet what he wants to paint, how he wants to see the outside of the car. We're doing a certain color that in the sun it looks one way, and when it's not in the sun it looks another way. So with the gloss black top, he's not sure if he wants it to look, because if it looks one way, it'll look really, really wrong. And so it'll take the meanness out of it, and it will look like, let's just say it won't look good. So the fact is, we're not going to surprise you with the actual color yet until you actually see it. So we're keeping you in the dark about that. But so that is our thing. So what we're doing now, okay, is we are doing a test piece. Okay, this is a piece of metal. It's a flat piece of metal. It's got some crap in it, but we don't really care because this is just a test piece. I've taped this side up because this is going to be black, and this side here I'm actually going to paint with the gray. Okay, once this dries, then I'll redo the same thing. I'll take this piece of tape, this piece of paper, cover this side, and then paint this black primer. Then what I'll do is I will base coat this, and I'll base coat the whole thing. Okay, so you can actually see, then when you hold it up in the light, you'll actually see the difference in colors, okay? And there will be a difference, all right? So, before you commit to anything that you do, you always want to sit there and you want to test, and test. Okay, that's why we made, same thing with the front fiberglass bumper. We almost made half of the bumper and tested it, made sure that it was going to work, and so on and so forth before we actually went and, made the whole entire thing. So right now, that's just waiting to be sanded. Okay, and I'm finishing up the body work on the other side. So again, T gave me this ridiculous timeline of June 18th. It's got to be done. Now remember, I got to paint it. It's got to sit for a couple of days before I paint. Then I have to paint the top coat to clear. That's going to take, so we're looking at like a week and a half to 2 weeks worth of painting right there in time for it to cure and so on and so forth. Okay, and we are pushing the envelope with that also. You should have more time, but we're going to try and see what happens. Okay, so, so realistically, I only have like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, okay, before my time is up. So that's why I'm doing a little bit here and there. Some of you might sit there and say, why are you not just focusing on one and move on? So I'm doing a little bit at a time. Doing this segment while that dries, I'm doing other pieces. While that dries, I'm doing other pieces. Okay, so that's kind of what we're doing here. So right now we're focusing on the body. Okay, so I got some paint mixed. So now I have to get a new sprayer. But again, there's a bump here, there's a ripple here, we don't care about that, okay? What we care about is the fact that it's the color itself. Okay, YouTube, so now we're going to paint the black side, the black epoxy primer. We did a test, made sure that it's coming out okay. Gun's still a little wacky, but it's primer, so this is okay. Here we go. It's still terrible, but much paint do I have left? Anything you want to paint, Brian? All right, YouTube. Now we're going to spray our base coat. Here we go. We apologize for the last clip of the video. We ran out of battery, so we didn't get to get the color, the base coat color and the top coat color for the car on our test piece. We only were able to get the black and gray, and I thought we were still videoing, and we ran out of battery. We just didn't know it. So I apologize for that. But here we are, and we're up to this here. We finished our painting test piece, so we know what color we're going to go with. And here we are with the bumper. A lot of sanding, fiberglass, sanding, fiberglass, sanding, fiberglass. More sanding, more fiberglass, more sanding. So we're almost done. There's a couple of touch-up places that we have to do, and then this will be almost ready for primer. On the rest of the car, we've redone our fenders where they need to be. So now this one is ready for paint. We filled this in, and this one is almost ready for paint. We had to do a couple more low spots that we had to fix. So that's what we're just doing here. And then over here, same thing. We had to fix a bunch of low spots on this, and our fender the fiberglass got wonky on the inside. So we have to smooth this out in here. And then we have to put another coat of stuff in here, because you can see this is low, this is high, this is high, and this is low. So I just have to fill this up, bring it up, and then that'll be, once we sand that down, that'll be ready to go. And this fender here, this is ready to be painted. So the front clip is ready to be painted. Oh, I got a couple, I lied, got a couple of those spots right here, and I just have to clean up. And then this is ready to be painted. That fender is ready to be painted. This fender will be ready to be painted. The doors are sanded down, so we just have to finish up the back and the front bumper. And then we can put it all back together, and maybe, depending upon how it goes, we might be able to get to the June 19th, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, that's what we have so far. So like and subscribe, and leave a comment, and let us know what you think. All right, until next time.